We are gearing up for one of the biggest nights in RCW, which is the RCW Honors Ceremony and event on September 14th. But first, we look back at our most recent event, Stars and Stripes Forever, during Independence Day weekend. Hello everyone and welcome to the Top 10. I'm Lexi, alongside RCW Honors member Jeromy Sage. And speaking of honors, that is our next RCW event coming up on September 14th. And Jeromy, you yourself are no stranger to that event.
No, that was an absolute career highlight, Lexi. Last year when I was inducted into RCW Honors, the ceremony highlights those that have made a significant impact on RCW and the Texas indie wrestling scene. And this year it's even more special because both the ceremony and the matches, for the first time ever, take place on the same night.
Fantastic. Now, we do have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get things kicked off with our top 10, focusing on our last event, RCW Stars and Stripes Forever, which took place at the infamous Bon Eric Ranch. Number 10, Fire and Fury versus Savage Dreams. This match was on the pre-show of Stars and Stripes Forever and ended up being one of the most talked about matches that night. Nova Phoenix and Morgan Mercy comprised Fire and Fury, a dominating and powerful duo ready to make their mark in RCW. On the other side was Ridley Thorne and Denise Day, who call themselves Savage Dreams. It was an impressive outing for Savage Dreams, but Fire and Fury scored the victory. And check this out. RCW has commissioned the creation of RCW Women's Tag Team Championships. I'm really looking forward to this addition to the women's division. These two teams will actually have a rematch on September 14th to crown our RCW inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions. Will the results stay the same? Or can Savage Dream overcome the brutality? Be there to find out.
Number 9 is David Teen, Still a Treat. When relentless drive collided with unapologetic arrogance, sparks flew. RCW International Champion Bulletproof Alex Arsenal put his title on the line against David Teen of the Texas Streets, a competitor who treats the rulebook like a suggestion and prides himself on flash over substance. Teen, a former international champion in his own right, once had the fans in his corner. This time, however, the stakes were clear. Could he reclaim the gold, or would Arsenal prove once again why he's the man to beat? The answer came when Arsenal secured yet another successful defense, adding to his growing legacy. But the real story may have been the friction inside the Texas Streets. A moment of miscommunication between Teen and his partners turned costly, raising questions about whether their once solid foundation is beginning to fracture. The gold stayed with Arsenal, but the fallout for the Treats may just be beginning.
Number 8, Jesse Funaki becomes his own man. Was Jesse Funaki ready to show the world he's more than just a name? With the Funaki's rivalry with the Treats finally behind him, the second generation standout stepped into the ring carrying pedigree, speed, and the weight of expectations. But Terrell Tempo wasn't impressed. Tempo, a competitor carved out of grit and hardened by punishment, refused to play the role of stepping stone for anyone, especially a so-called legacy kid. The question was whether Jesse would thrive under the spotlight or crumble against the raw power of Terrell Tempo. In the end, Funaki rose to the occasion, battling through and earning a hard-fought victory over the rugged ring veteran. And now the road only gets tougher. On September 14th, Funaki meets Epidemius Jr., an encounter fans are already calling a potential match of the night.
Number 7, Armani Sage's huge win. Could raw grit overpower raw talent? Stud Stash wasn't out there for glamour or gimmicks, he came to fight. Armani Sage, hey, nice name, on the other hand, is young, cocky, and already proving he can back up his bravado inside the ropes. One man was the people's brawler, the other a rising star who couldn't care less what the crowd thought. Sage made waves at RCW Mania by issuing an open challenge that brought out none other than Alberto El Patron. But when the dust settled, it was Sage who walked away with the shocking victory, and he didn't do it alone. Earlier in the night, Sage lent a hand to the powerhouse Hit in his win over Jimmy House. Later, the favor was returned as Hit's interference tipped the scales and handed Sage the win. Now, the spotlight only grows brighter. On September 14th, Jeromy Sage joins forces with the massive Hit to challenge Ross and Marshall Von Erich for the RCW Tag Team Championships.
Number 6. Would an anarchist defeat a spicy chica? Who can doubt that Calientita is the rightful, undisputed RCW Women's Champion? At RCW Mania, she silenced every critic by finally putting away La Leona Alejandra Quintanilla. But that didn't stop Anarchid Ash from stepping up and daring to test her. With J-Wave backing her at ringside, Calientita showed why she's the heartbeat of the Texas Treats. Ash fought with everything she had under the lights at the Von Erich Ranch, but in the end, the spiciest champion in RCW proved too much to overcome, walking out with her title still intact. Now the question shifts. Who's next? On September 14th at RCW Honors, Calientita puts her gold on the line against indie standout Ray Lynn in a match fans are already buzzing about.
Number 5, Diego Rene shocks the Von Erich Ranch. The story going in was clear. Epidemius Jr.'s confidence had been rattled ever since Alberto El Patron turned on him at RCW Mania, costing him the RCW Championship. Determined to climb back, Epi set his sights on Diego Rene, the Mako Shark, and the Texas Treats' golden boy. The question was simple. When the waters turn red, would the shark prove to be predator or prey? Diego entered as the underdog, but on this night, he rose to the occasion. With grit and determination, Rene scored a huge victory over Epi Jr., delivering momentum to the Treats and leaving Epi searching for answers. The fallout? On September 14th, Epidemius Jr. goes one-on-one with Jesse Funaki, while Diego Rene rides his wave of momentum into a future Legends Championship clash with Casey Blackrose.
And that leads us to our number 4 highlight and one of the biggest surprises of the night. Number 4. The Von Erichs continue to defend their home turf. It was the dream match that almost never happened, but fate finally delivered. Last fall, an injury sidelined Marshall Von Erich, delaying the clash fans had been waiting for. But on July 6th at RCW Stars and Stripes Forever, nothing stood in the way. The RCW Tag Team Champions, Ross and Marshall Von Erich, stood tall to defend not only their gold, but their family legacy and their land. Across the ring was Fly Death, backed by Nastico. This was more than a title defense. It was about pride, redemption, and proving who truly rules Texas. Warren J played possum, faking an injury and luring the Von Erichs into a trap, setting up a brutal ambush by Fly Death. But the Von Erichs fought back, rallied in front of their fans, and with their father Kevin Von Erich watching on, secured the hard-earned victory. Now the road ahead doesn't get any easier. On September 14th, Ross and Marshall put the RCW Tag Team Championships on the line against Jeromy Sage and his enforcer, Hit.
There's only 3 highlights left, and our next one takes us right through RCW's incredible women's division. Number 3, Emmy's historic reign continues. By this point, Emmy Camacho has reigned as RCW Phoenix champion for an astounding 623 days, an unprecedented stretch of dominance. But every unstoppable force eventually meets a challenger bold enough to step in its path. Enter Kaya Dream, the self-proclaimed Queen of the South and a former Raw Women's Champion, determined to seize the spotlight and carve her name into RCW history. The question loomed, who would leave as Phoenix champion? When the battle was over, it was Camacho once again standing tall, adding another marquee victory to her remarkable reign. Kaya Dream pushed hard, but the champion's momentum proved unshakable. Now, the clock ticks forward. On September 14th, Emmy Camacho puts the title on the line against Shay Carmichael. By then, her reign will have stretched to 693 days. 1 year, 10 months, and 23 days. The only question is, can anyone stop her?
Number 2, a surprising retirement. Things turned personal and violent at the Von Erich Ranch. Once inseparable as best friends and tag team champions, the flocking brawlers had become bitter rivals. After betraying Casey Blackrose at Rumble Royale out of jealousy, the elder emo Brandon Weiss set out to end the future Legends champion in a punishing bull rope match. No escape, no running, just one fight to settle it all. In the end, Blackrose once again found a way to win, extending his impressive momentum. But the bigger story came after the bell. Brandon Weiss unlaced his boots, left them in the center of the ring, and quietly retired from professional wrestling. Weiss leaves behind a legacy of grit, passion, and unmatched work ethic. He'll be deeply missed inside the ropes, but his mark on RCW and its fans will never be forgotten.
And now for the number 1 highlight, and of course, it has to do with the best. Number 1, chaos in the main event. The stage was set for the main event of RCW Stars and Stripes Forever at the historic Von Erich Ranch. Cocky Chris Marvel put the RCW Championship on the line against King Rob Love in a tables match. No disqualifications, no shortcuts, just splintered wood and broken pride. When the dust settled, it was Marvel who emerged victorious, though not without controversy. A costly miscue with fellow Texas Treats member David Teen nearly cost him the championship. And while Marvel celebrated, the Treats turned their fury on Teen, dishing out a brutal punishment that left everyone wondering, has David Teen been cast out once and for all? He'll defend the RCW Championship once again on September 14th at RCW Honors. And whoever dares to step up better come prepared, because Chris Marvel is showing no signs of slowing down.
River City Wrestling's future collides with its past as we honor legends and showcase the stars of today.
It all happens Sunday, September 14th at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center. It is going to be a historic night.
Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. We'll see you at RCW Honors. I've been Lexi.
And I'm Jeromy Sage. This has been the Top 10.